And the second I got done watching last night's game, I got very reflective, Dibs.
Yeah, like Klay did in the piece.
Yes, very, very reflective, which means that's why I can explain why my panic meter not only fell to 0, it actually fell below 0. It fell into the water and it sunk all the way to the abyss because I'm no longer thinking about June. I'm not thinking about the finals.
You can't give up that soon.
No, this isn't giving up at all.
It's a quitter's mentality.
Nope. Damn it. It's not giving up. When I say I'm not thinking about June, it doesn't mean I'm giving up on it at all. It doesn't mean I think they're not going to the playoffs. It doesn't mean any of that.
Quitting gets a bad name.
It means if you're going to show up for the feature story, if you're going to show up for the documentary, well, don't turn it off after episode 1. We got to watch the documentary. And this is the documentary.
But you don't make it through every 10-part documentary. Sometimes you watch the first episode and say, I'm out.
But I'm going to make it through this one because this one is a dynasty. This one is 4 championships in 8 years. This is our Golden State Warriors. I think all of your trade machine ideas, every single one of you, I think they're a fool's errand. I don't think there is any sort of a quick fix because a quick fix makes it sound like there's only a couple problems. They don't have 99 problems. They got 9,999 problems.
A lot of problems.
And everybody but
Klay
Steph
is one.
Yeah, exactly. So here's where I arrived. I'm here for this. Do not trade Klay Thompson or Draymond Green. Period. Commit to that right now. In my mind, I am committing to this right now. It is ride or die, and they may die. If they fail, they fail, but these are our guys. They have been our guys. This is our team. I can't believe how quickly we're at the idea of blow this whole thing up because there isn't a great fix anyway. I want to be here for the journey. I want to see if these guys can figure it out. And that's now my goal and my entertainment for this Warriors season. Not can you win a title. Can you figure it out? I want to go on this ride.
Well, for me, it is can you win a title? Because you don't have a team coming off a championship in a championship window and then 15 games in decide, I'm just going to be here for the journey. That, to me, is not a mindset that they're taking, and therefore it's not a mindset that I'm going to take as a fan of this team. Because they're not...
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're not thinking, guys, we're not going to win the championship this year, so let's not make any moves. Let's just ride this out for 67 more games and just see where it goes. They're actively trying to fix it. And if there are things that you can fix, if there are moves that can be made, they're making moves. They sent James Wiseman down to the G League, not because they think, we're going to give up on the year. Let's let James go down and play. They're hoping that he can go play, get better, get comfortable, and come back and help them.
I want to make sure these two things do not get put side by side. Going on the journey and giving up are two totally different things.
Right.
There is no give up. There is no, you used the phrase ride it out. There is none of that.
That's what you said. No, you're going to ride or die.
Ride or die, meaning...
That, to me, is riding it out.
No, because that does not mean if you ride it out or ride or die, that does not mean they can't figure it out. Maybe they can, but to me, as a fan of these players, as someone who has been on this ride for a decade, and someone who has the utmost respect for so many different aspects of this organization, and most importantly, someone who doesn't really believe the trade market holds the key or the fix anyway.
Well, what does hold the fix?
I don't know.
And if there is no fix, then you're resigning yourself to just ride it out.
No, but again, to me, that's way too complete. Ride it out means it's not going to happen. Ride it out means let's just get to the end and we'll worry about it at the end of the year. I don't know that. I don't know what the fix is because, quite frankly, I don't know what the hell got them here in the first place. 5 months ago, I still think if we go to my bag.
Oh, I have some in there too.
There's confetti still in there.
Absolutely.
5 months ago, there was confetti, and now look at this. So,
you can see from then to now what has changed. Klay Thompson.
A lot.
Klay Thompson didn't play over the summer, and he came into the start of the season not ready. This is not an indictment on Klay. This is a reality of where he is coming off of 2 catastrophic injuries. Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole in the face.
It's a problem.
Jordan Poole has gone from money time, super confident player to not really feeling like he knows who he's supposed to be. 36 points one night, 2 points the next. James Wiseman got healthy and got worse. Jonathan Kuminga became suddenly unplayable, and Moses Moody, good Lord. I mean, what happened to Moses Moody? Last year in the playoffs, he was a reliable piece, and now he's not. You replaced your bench with a bench that is largely unplayable and unreliable. The only thing that's the same is Andre Iguodala looks good in street clothes. and Steph Curry's unbelievable.
Awesome. Steph Curry's even better, by the way. You ever noticed that?
It's hard to imagine that he is. But yes.
There's game 4 Boston, but go back and look at the numbers of Steph Curry's regular season. He wasn't doing this. This is
17 of 28, 9 rebounds.
This is as good as he's ever been, and maybe better.
Right.
If you just want to dive into him and analytics and data and all of that. Okay. So you just listed a bunch of stuff. I can't deny any of it. But if you arrived at all of those negative places that quickly, can you also leave all of them that quickly? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Probably not.
Right.
But that's the beauty of this question that everybody's waking up asking. How do we fix this? And every one of you, whether you want to admit it or not, you get the same answer. I don't know.
They don't know.
I don't know. They don't know, but I think they've got a better idea.
I would hope.
Of what led them here. And therefore, that gives them an idea of what to work on. But all of your KD dreams are not going to fix this either, in my opinion.
I agree with you there.
Okay, so that's number 1. And number 2 is, this is Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. And I do not want this to end with January trades because you're chasing the 6th seed. I definitely don't want that. How would you all feel if you do trade Klay Thompson and 3 weeks later, click? Oh, crap.
All of a sudden, he becomes Klay again.
Oh, geez.
A Claymaker game.
Now he's hitting threes again, right?
Playing for Indiana.
Right. How's that going to feel? I know nobody watches SportsCenter anymore, but go to your digital platform, and there's the highlights of Klay in an OKC jersey with 42 points.
But the highlights.
You would barf. So
not if the Warriors had won 17 of 18. You wouldn't barf. There'd be a little acid reflux, but if you're a Warrior fan, you want this thing fixed. And I don't believe that the trade market is hot enough to even trade Klay Thompson. I would never trade Klay Thompson. If Draymond Green is a bigger problem in the locker room and in the team than we know from the outside looking in, there's a question to be asked there as it pertains to what do you do with Draymond Green?
But you know this too, the contractual conversation that we've all had, like we're all just like, trade him. What does that even mean?
Right.
We're talking about $65 million of salary between 2 players that we're sitting here going, well, they don't look good anymore. So you think some other team is like, well, boy, we want him. We would love to see Klay go 5 for 17 for us.
That's 6 for 17.
Oh, sorry. Do you know what I mean?
Put some respect on his shooting percentage.
Well, actually, put some respect on it is exactly what I'm trying to do. You got to ride or die. I am here for this journey. All I want to know is, hey, y'all, can you go figure this out? Let's see it.
What if they can't, though?
Well, then that's the answer.
Then we go 32 and 50 and you miss the playoffs, and that's that?
By the way, if this really is the end, then what do you want this year? Do you want to grind for the 5 seed and lose in the first round?
Yes.
Or what you just laid out. Let's say you do end up with a losing record. And then what? Not only is your draft situation better, but if, as Steve Kerr even said in Ramona's article, like the end might be 1 more year. That is a direct quote.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then at the end of this year, isn't it easier to start making the moves that need to be made with that evidence? Let your fans know, because right now, a Warrior fan still isn't sure. It looks bad. They're 6-9. They can't win a road game. But none of us, we're not sure that it's over. And the last thing you want to do is dump on the whole thing and then find out, oh my gosh, what we didn't work.
Yeah.
And actually it wasn't over. You got to ride or die.
You got 2.5 months.
We got to go on the journey. And if they fail, Dibs, they fail.
That's not acceptable, and that's not acceptable to them. And I'm saying as a fan, it's not acceptable. As a Warrior fan for 45 years, they've gotten 4 titles in 8 years. I'm not going to burn a jersey because they go 30-52. It would be a disappointing way for this all to end, but think about it. If you go 30-52, and right now you're trending toward having that kind of year, 35-47, whatever the exact number is, if you go through the year and you get to the play-in game or you don't, and you don't make the playoffs and it's over, well, Draymond Green can come back and Klay Thompson is coming back. So you really can't make that much change unless you then, at that point, make a trade in the offseason. And if you make a trade in the offseason, you're trading pennies on the dollar because Klay Thompson would have had this kind of year. And Draymond Green, this year would have gone south in part because of what Draymond Green did in the locker room. We've all said Draymond Green doesn't fit with very many teams. So what kind of a team is going to want Draymond Green in the offseason in a contract year?
You're already there. We've already said it. You're already at pennies on the dollar with no matter what name you want to bring up right now.
That was Draymond Green.
Wiseman, pennies on the dollar. Kuminga, pennies on the dollar. Klay, pennies on the dollar. And actually Draymond, pennies on the dollar.
Depends on what team you send him to.
Yeah,
if he goes to a good team, like if he went to Boston now.
He can be part of a package, yes, but nobody is like, you know what, the last thing we need, the key to this all is the guy who we all just believed totally crashed the vibe of the greatest vibe in the history of sports.
Do you think he did totally crash the vibe? Because it sure seems that way.
I think there's a lot to that, yes.
We're seeing Steph Curry behave in a way that we've never seen Steph Curry behave. And I'm not saying that this isn't a long time coming because I think he should have been more fiery in certain ways his whole career.
You're right. This is a great point.
Why now, this year? The guy goes for 50 in a game against Phoenix. You put up a $119, and you kind of got blown out. You lost all 4 quarters,
and
Mark.
He's getting technical fouls by punching balls into the stands. He chased down a ref last week, had the ref on his heels. Yeah. Watch the Warriors. Watch their body language. It is sideways. It's not, Wiseman's defensive rating. Well, how about now?
Right.
How about now? You want to know what the Ottoman pick of the night was last night? It was the over. And it almost always is. Because whatever team you're playing, you can go look at their offensive metrics and you can promise yourself they're going to score 15 more than they normally score when they're going against Golden State, and it's not Wiseman's fault now. There are problems everywhere. Everyone's pennies on the dollar. So I don't think the fix is on the trade market. I don't even think there are great trades out there. But, man, there are 2 things here. One, the respect for what these guys have achieved to say, I want to see if you can figure it out, combined with the only way, to me, you can really, really feel sick to your stomach is if Klay Thompson and Draymond Green were to go somewhere else and start playing great basketball. That, to me, would be the tragedy and the travesty of all. So, look, think about the joy of last year.
That was a lot of joy.
And we know why. Not just because they won, but because we didn't see it coming. And I am going to stay right here I didn't see that coming. I don't know. It might click. It might click. It might click on Christmas. It might click tomorrow night. It might click in January. And it might not click. But I am here to find out if this group can never make it click.
I'm also here, and real Warriors fans, of course, we're here, which is why we all lock in on the game.
You're here, and I'm here.
We're both here. But for you to say you're at a 0 on the panic meter tells me that you've given up on the idea that this team can win a championship.
No, I'm staying in the moment.
No way.
I'm staying in the moment.
There's no way you can rightfully look at this team and think they have a legitimate chance to be champions right now.
My mind's not in June. My mind's on tomorrow night against the Knicks. Honestly, there's no...
You're taking it one game at a time. I admire that.
Why would you flood? Why would you flood about June in November?
Because they're a championship team.
Right.
And when you look at this team, you're used to seeing them be in a position where you could say, that team looks like come April, they're going to be a real factor in the playoffs. And this team does not look like that.
No, they don't. And then sometimes the season does go awry, and it ends up being the most wonderful blessing in disguise ever. Andrew Wiggins. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes a bad season is what you need. I'm not saying that's what this is going to be. My panic meter goes to 0 because I realized, what the hell are we doing talking about their seed? It's November. We got to watch this team try to figure it out, and they either will or they won't. And that's not a panicked feeling to me on November. What's today?
The 17th.
November 17th. Let's see.
I wonder where the Warriors are in terms of that. I bet you they're not at a 0.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can tell that they're not at a 0.
I know, but Draymond and Steph, as they're watching the final 2 minutes, are over on the bench, yucking it up, having a great time.
Well, they're made men, so they got 4 titles and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, so does Tom Brady. So does Tiger Woods. So did Michael Jordan.
Right.
Like, these people are wired where that does.
And when you're losing a game,
never gets turned off.
It's easier to just realize the game is lost. What are you going to do? Sit there and kick the chair and throw a fit, break a clipboard?
I don't know. Did you watch Hard Knocks? That's exactly what Kyler Murray did after their loss against the Vikings. Yeah, that's exactly what you do. But again, I'm not going to psychoanalyze Golden State Warriors. I'm going to see if they can come back out and look better tomorrow night.